After about a 2 week break, welcome to the final show of the Clem and Claw show of 2021. As usual, welcome from the parts unknown. Welcome to the, like I said, everything in between. Hope everybody's having a good Christmas or had a great Christmas. Second and fourth Mondays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and 6:30 Pacific Coast Time. Well, like I said before, Christmas was good, decent. Not much more I can say. On to you, my guy.
Yeah, the same here. Just spending time with family and everything, and so it just got to see my nephew. So it was good. It was good.
I hope everybody, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of our viewers that have been watching the show from all kinds of places, not only America but England and everywhere else in between. Because we all know time differences are crazy in a lot of these places. Some of y'all people is incredible that some of y'all people get up early in the morning to watch this stuff. It don't matter if it's on replay or live. It's a madness, man. But with that being said, let's get into the news. Like I said, Sweet Fight had its last cat fight of 2021. Originally, it was supposed to be Aubrey Black versus Vivian Fox, but Vivian Fox had a contractual obligation the week before the fight, so he had to go out and get a replacement, and he ended up finding Brooke, who, as everybody knows, is of ECNWC, who had a fight with Nikki Darling. I want to say for Sweet Fights in October. I want to say like 2 months ago. That's what I want to say. But anyways, a lot of things were complex. I'll just go ahead and say that. One thing that fans are not going to be, the majority of fans are not going to be happy that most of the time the girls decide to fight with their hair, with their hairs, in braids. So that's one thing. I know I'm talking about the majority of them. Me, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But you know how some of these fans like their fighters have their hair loose and all that stuff.
Right.
And the majority of this fight was 90% standing up. So people who like groundwork, there's not gonna be very much of it. I'm just giving you the heads up, people. So if you bought the sponsorship like me, then you would know, because the guy himself sent an email to everyone. I'm talking about Sweet Fights, sent an email to all the sponsors. So there's that. And originally the fight was supposed to start at 8 a.m., but it did not start until 1 p.m. So one girl had a personal problem. The other one wasn't ready for the new start time. I'll leave it at that. Now, the rules, for people who didn't know, the rules were simple. No body scissors, no joint locks, the normal stuff. No joint locks, no body scissors, no body, no choking, all that stuff. No face contact. So everything else went. This was a great fight. This was a good fight, actually. Very good fight, because we have two very strong, skilled ladies. People were struggling to get each other to the ground in this fight. So make sure you video. I'm not going to tell you who won. Just get the video. Contact Sweet Fights via Gumroad. And if you didn't get it now, you have to wait till January for it. So that's it. You have anything you have to say? Because I ran through everything.
I bought it and supported it, but in the midst of all the madness, I didn't even get a chance to watch it yet. So I will be watching it this weekend. So
Yep.
and so I can catch up
Yep.
with it.
So I'll give you that. The next time we have a show, we'll talk about it. But so we keep that moving. So more, like I said, this is pretty much a repeat of what happened 2 weeks ago. So like I said, it looks like Alexa Brooke is trying to get 2 fights next month. She's trying to set up a fight with Shakira in January. I don't know where the location is, but if I had to guess, the fight will be in Maryland. That's a guess, because we all know Shakira does not like to travel for nothing. So, right, unfortunately. The thing is, I talked to both of these ladies. I talked to Shakira. She said the fight will be somewhere between, they're trying to decide between January 2nd, January 8th, or January 9th for that one. So, like I said, keep that finalized, people. Keep your eyes on the space when it comes to those two. Right, I'll say that much. And the other one, as we all know, is Alexa Brooke is going to fight against Vika at Sweet Fights. That's confirmed. That's been confirmed. Period. And you know what I mean? So that is confirmed. And also, Emma Ray is going to fight Angel, and that's also confirmed for February. Also, so Sweet Fights will have 2 fights in February. When is it going to be? We don't know, but that's it. Other than that, there is absolutely nothing else. But oh yeah, Reagan. Yes, make sure I'm going to promo. I got promo Reagan's podcast because show. So Bare Bones is on Anchor.com, but you can also get it through Spotify. If y'all Spotify, you just gotta put it in Bare Bones, and it has her and some of her friends talking about stuff that happened in your Louisiana, where she's from, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I again, like I said, I hadn't gotten a chance to listen to it yet.
It's a good look.
Um,
It's a good read if you get a chance.
yeah, because I saw she had a thing where you could post questions and then they would have brought them up on the show. But
Yep.
again, I wasn't able to just be able to participate. But I
Right.
plan on to.
Right. So yeah. So pretty much that. My girl Tilly said she was gonna have some fights, but some fights in the future. But I haven't heard much from her when it comes to her cat fighting. I talked to some people. We all feel like she needs to. Sweet Fox has been doing work lately. What he had since Tilly had her last fight. I think Sweet Fox had like 4 fights. He's at least produced what 4 fights.
Mm.
If you know what I mean. I think yeah, Carmilla versus Vika. Then there was Sarah Brooke versus Laura Cross. And then the last fight I said actually it was 3. And the last fight I talked about. So he's produced 3 fights in the last 3 or 4 months since Tilly had her fight, which was as everybody knows, Reagan versus Laura Cross. So, and we'll talk about that one too. We're gonna talk about our list. It's the fourth. It's the end of the year. We might as well, right? We got nothing else to talk
Right,
about.
right. Because I know we were going to talk about our top five, right?
Yep. You want to start?
No, I'll let you start.
Okay. It's somewhat well. It's not controversial. This is people. This is my opinion. If you have a top 5 list, go ahead and post it on post it on the YouTube or Twitter or whatever the heck we do with this stuff, and we'll react on it. For me, the top 5, and we talked about this. The top 5 for me is Sarah Brooke versus Laura Cross. Need I say any more? That is the definition. That was a top fight because as you remember, Claus, as you remember, I did say at one point that Lyric versus Sherry Stuns was the top fight until this fight happened. Right.
The
So
lyric and
basically,
Sherry was win though.
Lyric and
Was
Sherry
it?
was March.
Well, I
It was
thought so.
this year. It was in March. So like I said before, so basically number 1 for me is Sarah Brooke versus Laura Cross. Then number 2, Lyric Lane versus Sherry. If you're a fan of mature women catfighting and everything in between, that was the fight. My guy Adam, speak of Adam, I gotta plug him. Adam has a Gumroad too, also, and he's selling all his fights from the privately produced videos that he has. So if you want that fight, contact him. If you want that fight, he has quite a few fights. So that's number 2 for me. Number 3, I have to think about number 3. Oh, number 3 is Reagan versus Laura Cross. Have you noticed a pattern? All these are very good fights. So that's number 3 on my list.
Mhm.
All right, number 4 on my list is Mexican cat fight. I got to throw them in here. Santana versus Valentina. It's number 4. Let's be serious. The list of cat fights, there were some good cat fights, but there were some outstanding cat fights, and then there were some duds. Let's be serious. And number 5, I have to actually think about number 5. Number 5, I actually have to think who was a good one. I was going to go to cast review, but I can't remember anybody who fought there. So the other one, I guess we could. I guess I could say Davina versus Dulce. That was this year too. That was in June. That was like April or May. That fight. That's all I can think of.
Davina
I
versus
fought,
Dulce?
yeah, I can't think of any more. My mind is kind of.
I
I didn't
remember
see all these
Davina
cat
versus
fights.
Alexa. I don't remember Davina
I,
versus Dulce.
I wasn't impressed by that fight. I can't put that fight in. We were all not happy with that fight. You forgot?
Davina versus Dulce?
Okay, I don't know. I can't think of any. Davina versus Alexa was impressive to me. It ain't my list. It's not that impressive to me. I consider it to be
But
like one of
my
those
thing is
okay.
Davina. I don't remember Davina fighting anybody all year other than Alexa.
She did fight someone earlier, and I forgot who it was. I'm struggling, dude. I'm struggling for number 5 right now. I did well just to get 4. I don't even know who 5 is.
Well,
There were so many dud fights.
the fact that we both had the same four, I had the same four. I had
Okay,
my number one fight was Lyric and Sherry, just
okay.
because the pure cat fighting this, and then I love the bonus video. If you had to contact
True,
Adam
true,
for it,
true, true,
I
true,
love the
true,
bonus video.
true, true.
I will put the Sarah Brooke versus Laura fight
Second,
second. I'll put Reagan and Laura third.
okay.
Fourth, you had the Valentina and Santana, which is
Yes,
fine because I figured the Mexican cat fights with him with his debut. Yes. Um,
we're
my
struggling for
fifth,
5. We're
my fifth
struggling.
one, my fifth one was a borderline tie. I got a fifth, and I'll put one honorable mention.
Go ahead, I'm
My
listening.
my fifth one actually was Janai versus oh god, I forgot the girl she even. But remember, it was supposed to be Janai
Gilly,
and Peyton.
Janai versus Gilly.
Gilly. Yes, but it was supposed to be Janai and Peyton, and then it got Janai and somebody else, and then it
I
ended up
forgot
again.
about that fight.
Now,
I forgot
granted,
about that fight.
yes, it ended up in the tie. McGillen with newcomers. I really like Janai's effort.
I did too.
I still, even though I don't know if it's going to happen, I still want to see Janai fight right now. I still
Me
do want
too.
to see that,
Me
even
too.
though we both feel that the result will be lopsided, but I
Yeah, we
still
know the
want to
result
see
will be lopsided, but yes.
that.
Who's your other one?
My honorable mention will actually be Laura versus Kim Chi.
Ah, that's a good one.
Laura versus Kim Chi. I was debating between Laura and Kim Chi and Janai and Gilly. As far as which one would be my five. So
Okay,
I
so okay,
decided to go six pack.
I'm not there. So okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and I'll take now that you made me think about it. I'll go ahead with Janai and Gilly. I'll just go ahead and go with that one. That's 5. That's number 5 for me,
So I
just
went six
because.
pack. I'm going six pack.
Okay,
I went because I think the Laura, and the only reason why I went Laura Kim Chi as
5.
honorable mention is only because the level was not of the other
Oh,
five.
okay.
It
Oh,
was
okay.
competitive, but
Okay.
it was like for somebody with Kim Chi, and we know the road that she's taken to try to get back
True.
into the game.
True.
I would say, given the effort that was put forth, that's what got me. Remember, after I see that fight, because you didn't buy it at the time, and I
Yep.
said, don't be surprised if Laura gives, but because the way she went at Kim Chi, and I've seen Kim Chi fight with Kim Chi, ass no quarter takes no quarter.
Yep.
But seeing that let me know that I was like, okay, I think she has a chance. See, that's where it first popped in. Because seeing that performance, say, you know what, she could actually go. She'll be a little bit smaller than Sarah, but I think she can give Sarah a run for her money, if not beat her.
And she almost did. And Laura Cross almost did. And you know the funny part is if they had a rematch, I think Laura could beat Sarah. I know people. I know people feel people think I'm crazy, but I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Based off of the fight I saw, I'm like you. I saw enough, right? I saw more than enough that Sarah could Laura could beat Sarah.
And it wasn't like, well, Sarah's getting old or slowing
No,
down the time. It's just that Lars is equally as
really
good and
good.
Prime equally as good.
Yeah. So yeah, and yeah. Oh, honorable mention. I forgot. Well, if I had to put it out there, I guess honorable mention is you could put Gia versus Chikara. Their fight. I forgot about them. They did fight this year somewhere.
Which one, the first one or the second one?
The second one. The first one was. Ugh. I don't even want to talk
Yeah,
about the
the
first
second
one.
one, right? Yeah,
The second one. The second one was better than the first.
yeah. The
And if you
second
want
one
to talk
was
about,
better.
yeah, when it comes to so we have top 5. Then we can have worse, the worst
I,
fight.
I don't even want to.
I
I don't even want to
hear
do
you.
that. I don't even want to spend airtime, precious airtime doing that because
So
it's
you want to go with
subjective at
yeah.
that point.
Okay, so basically, when I did my list off the thing, I'm now taking off people who haven't had any fights here, right? Let's just right. We need to do a new criteria, don't you think? We'll do our top list now because if you've been off for like months, I'm sorry, I'm not saying you have to go off the list, but there's some people who are active should be ahead of you. I changed my list a little bit,
Okay.
if you know what I'm saying. I know I'm going to cause
It's,
controversy, but I do not care. Number one is kind of obvious. Number one and number two is obvious. You know what I mean? One and two is obvious. So for me, number one is still Sarah Brooke, still, because as you told me before,
yeah. So sometimes with Sarah and Laura, that was like one and two, like doing it, fighting each other.
okay, then and then for me, number two is Laura Cross. Those two are close for me, right? As close as you can get
Uh-huh.
on that. Number three, I was gonna. Number three is still Lyric, but it's close because now I got Alexa Brooke ahead of Sexy Wife and Reagan because Alexa Brooke has been more active than both
Active,
of them, right? She's been more
right,
active than both of them because Reagan's been off for a little bit after her last fight against Laura, so she's doing she's been doing her thing. Sexy Wife, we haven't heard of her in months.
right.
According to her husband Chris, she said she's going to come back in early 2022. I believe that when I see that.
Well, that puts you at six right now. Who else did they leave you with?
Okay, so what did I say? So I had Laura Cross. I mean, sorry, Sarah Brooke one, Laura Cross two, Lyric Lane three, Alexa is four, and then Reagan is
Six.
five. I'm gonna put Reagan five ahead of Sexy Wife because Reagan's had at least a current fight compared to
Okay.
Sexy Wife. Sexy Wife is six. Gia Love is. Do I want to put Gia here or do I want to put in somebody else? Yeah, Gia seven. Gia Love seven, and I gotta figure out who eight is. And it's starting to get tough after it's starting to get tough after six.
That's
And then
why I just
six.
do the grade eight. I just do the grade
I
eight,
know.
and then
I know. I'm looking. I'm trying to find eight right now. I gave you seven. I'm trying to find eight
I
right
would
now.
my eight would be Santana.
Santana's eight for me. If you want
Santana.
to be serious, that's eight. Yeah, Santana's eight. I'll give her that because she's fought she's fought Valentina. She's fought Columbia Rose twice, and she had a fight with Miranda. So she's had what 4 fights this year. So yeah,
Right.
gotta put her in there. She's number eight. So
Yeah. On my list, I pretty much mostly the same. I had Sarah Brooke one. I got Laura Cross as a close second. Matter of fact,
same.
I have got it more of one than one A or one B.
Yeah,
Because
one
if
A,
you
one B.
look
Yeah,
at, I'm looking at the total body of work what Laura has did this year. Laura went
yep,
from not even being on the list to being to jump all the way to number two on the strength
correct.
of her performance against Sarah Brooke, her performance against Reagan, her performance against Kim Chi. Well,
Yep,
again, no sloth. So
correct.
just those three on the strength of those three fights. I'm gonna make it a one A and one B. It's like other receiving votes kind of thing, and like it's
Yeah, yeah.
so. I got Lyric third. Um, the Alexa Brooke being fourth. I must give credit because I thought at first I couldn't justify keeping her off for four. Because at first I'm
Mm.
like four. I don't know about four, but I just four seemed to be it. I have five as Reagan. I have I have six as Santana.
Okay, cool,
I have six
cool,
because of the sheer number of fights that she had.
cool.
And
I work
now,
with that.
granted, if she fought some of the other girls on the list, that's the only way I would put her higher if she fought any of the other girls on the list. But I don't know
Correct.
how if that will ever happen or whatever. But I would say just like with Laura, coming off from we never heard of you, to finish at the end of the year six, and then seven, I have Sexy Wife. Um, eight, I have Gia Love. And then my honorable mention, I have Kim Chi. I have Kim Chi
Yeah,
as my honorable mention.
I agree
And
with
then
you.
I have honorable mention Kim Chi and I have Miss Juliet. I'm telling you, Miss Juliet, I think if she does one, it's
I can't put her on there. I can't put her on my list yet because I'm waiting for
I
her to have
know
one. Once she have one, then I'll put her on. But right
it
now,
would be
if I had
epic.
honorable mention, I agree with you. My honorable mention is definitely kimchi, and I would. Who's the other one I would have? The other one I would have is I'm trying to decide between Sherry or Jakara right now. Out of those two,
Ooh, I would do
I'm talking
Sherry
about
before I
honorable
do
mention.
Chicago. I would do
Sherry,
Sherry before I do
yeah,
anything. Yeah,
Sherry,
or
yeah,
just
yeah,
on OG status.
yeah, definitely Sherry, yeah, Sherry. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, so if viewers, we want to, I want to see what y'all top eight is and who your honorable mentions is. What cat fights are? Yeah, I said this last time, but it's the end of the show. It's the end of the year show, so I might as well say it. What kind of? I know that there are a few cat fights coming this year. We've already have we've are coming. We know that.
And we know there's a few people, if they ever decide to come back, it's on like Donkey Kong. Valor decide to come back, she going top five.
Oh, she going right to the top
She going
five.
top
That's
five.
it. She going to the
Now,
top five immediately.
yeah, so she come back. It's a little rampage, I think, will make the list. She come back. I know she's still some entries, man, take longer than
Yeah, she'll
others.
make the list.
So yeah, she'll make the list. I even hold out hope for Davina, even though her last
Going
performance
out. Sorry
against
about that.
Even her last performance against Alexa Brooke wasn't the greatest. I think Davina is still redeemable. It
Agree.
doesn't matter. She just have a good
Yep.
matchup. She has to have a good matchup. Matchups make
Who
fights.
who
So,
do you think? Yeah, who do you
uh,
think she should fight against?
there have been some talk of Juliet just because of their size dimensions are similar. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I've
Miss
had some
Juliet.
conversations. I've had some conversations with Juliet. If Juliet was to go completely feral, like we talk about, you know me, I'm big about the mental. If
Yes, you
she was
are.
to allow herself to go there, it would be either the biggest one sided. I'm not a big fan of one sided fights,
Neither am
but
I.
it would be. But if you want to see the sheer ferocity of what a woman like, because to be honest, I think a lot of these fanboys they have this what I call this video game mentality. They will
Yep.
want the woman to be
Yep.
as feral can be, or
Correct.
feral as F, as one person would say. Um,
Correct.
but they're
Correct.
not. But if they see the carnage, I think they for some of them it would be visceral reaction because like because it's not like going to be like okay, video game is over. All right, this person can start all over again. And they didn't know you talking about like a almost disfiguring of them. And I think for some they're gonna realize, oh, that's too much. Oh, so that's why it's like eh, I will put it this way. I would think the beatdown level would be and this is Davina's no slouch. But I
No.
think it would be similar to when Alexa fought, I think the Misty Girl, and how Alexa Brooke was so dominant, and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
she just literally dominated it to the point where it broke a wheel. That she was like, "Oh, we're gonna take this outside." I'm like, What are you
You talk
doing,
about
dude?"
you talk about Ash. You talk about Ashley Stone. Yeah, that was a beatdown.
I thought it was Misty. I thought her name was
No, it's
Misty.
not Misty.
Okay.
It's Ashley.
Oh,
Ashley.
excellent. So, okay.
That's the one that would take it outside. Yeah, that was a complete mismatch. That was a
Yeah.
beatdown. We all knew within the
Yeah.
first seconds. Forget the minute. The first seconds, the fight was already over. We knew.
But I think it would be similar. That's my prediction. It would be similar to that. Now, would the stamina be as long? That would be the one thing. My thing about for Juliet, that would be my only question. Her stamina for that for 20 minutes, but the
Yeah, I
intensity
agree
and the
with you.
ferocity, I think would be there. Would be at a level would be unmatched that we would not have seen short of ECNWC. I'll put it that way.
Correct. Yeah, I
That's
agree
just
with you.
that's just
I
me
yeah, I agree
because
with
the
you.
stuff
Miss.
she
Yeah.
told me, if she was to actually do it, part of I think some of this stuff from a psychological standpoint is they have to mentally put themselves into space to do it, and
Mm,
then to be able to verbalize it, and now being able to go from verbalizing it to saying it to doing it, and I think
mm,
that's what makes Sarah Brooks such a great fighter, Lyric Lane such a great fighter, sexy wife to an extent, a great fighter,
mm.
because they can verbalize and say what I want to do and what I am going to do to you, and then go ahead and doing it. You know, like
Yep.
we have Mike. You know, how Mike is always like, go for
Yep.
the
Yep.
lady parts.
And
You
we all
know,
know
we know
Blake loves the the other parts. that
yes. And so
yeah.
for them to say, I'm going to do it, which goes back to the whole reason why with the Peyton Janai, which to be honest, if that fight I think still needs to happen. Because it's like, because Peyton, I think, would have gave her,
1 minute.
I don't know
I
what,
got a phone call. Give me a minute. Sorry, my bad. Give me a minute. I gotta answer it.
okay. And so, and while he's taking care of that, I think it would have given given it the proper respect that is due. So, also would like to give a shout out to Dog. Um, Dog, I know is one of our more faithful respondents and listeners, and he always supports and things of that nature. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing when he comes back. We're going to get into maybe a couple of fights that we would like to see next year. Again, one of those for me would definitely be, if I'm just spitballing off the top of my head, I would definitely want to see Janai versus Peyton. I definitely would like to see that. Again, I would like to see Janai versus Reagan. That's another one I would like to see because I think that needs to happen because that was part of the thing. The winner was to get a match with that. Um, Another thing I would like to see is, and especially, I know both of them. It just, I think before the year's out, it needs to happen. Alexa Brooke versus Paris. I think that needs to happen. I'm going to say Alexa Brooke versus Lyric. That needs to be finished and resolved. Um, and my other one I'm going to say is I'm going to say a Laura versus Sarah Brooke rematch needs to happen as well. But I think in order for us to get what we really want, I think there's going to have to be some rule stipulations and changes or something because it's not that the two ladies can't catfight. They can. They can catfight with them because the skill set. We know there's so much more than that. I will want to see them on a true lack of term, no holds barred. But with no, of course, no face punching or whatever. But like where they can do the locks and holds or whatever. I want to see who is truly the more skilled one. That's just me personally. I can live with that one not being a cat fight because I think with their reservoir and cat fight, it just would be equal. And it's just you're not going to give me anything more. I think we will have another tie, 20-minute time. We just sit here and it's like, so um that's kind of how I felt the Little Rampage. Cause see, like when Little Rampage fought Sexy Wife was pure cat fight, and Little Rampage can cat fight, but that's not the fullness of her skills. And it's just that her skill level in cat fighting wasn't, at least now on that day, So yeah, so that's the thing with that. So let's see, and Clem is back. No, he's not back yet. Just yet. But yes, but like I said, every second and fourth Monday we are here. That's our goal. And every second and fourth Monday we did this one a little bit off just because of the holidays and scheduling with I'm being out of town and Clem having family and stuff and connection issues. So we wanted the show to be done well. We didn't want to be where I'm trying to connect and he got so much going on that we wouldn't have been able to do the show proper. So that's part of what we did here. Again, like you said, we'd like to thank all the fans. We'd like to thank all the guests and interviews that we had this year. Like I said, we had some great interviews. Janai again was one of my favorites. Peyton was another one. My favorites, like I said, I hated that match didn't pull off. Of course, Silly, rolling through as she did. Reagan rolling through. like she did. We definitely giving us a few names now that we think of that we could go after, because if we're looking at roughly our top eight, Sarah Brooke has not been on the show yet. Laura Cross has not been on the show. Lyric has been on the show. Alexa Brooke has not been on the show yet. Sexy Wife have not been on the show yet. Reagan has been on the show. Gia Love has been on the show a couple of times. Santana has not been on the show yet. Um, yeah, so that may be so. Sherry Stones have not been on the show, so that gives us some folks. Because I was worried by this point, by the time we hit a year, that we wouldn't have anybody left to, for lack of a better term, left to interview. But we still got some people that hopefully, in 2022 we can bring some of those ladies in and have them come in and sit here and talk and chop it up. Would love to bring even some other producers in, let them come in, chop it up. I think we had Hans also earlier this year, early this year. I think our man Hans came through. So, again, another great interview. And us doing it just a little over a year. So, thankful for that. Um, but other than that, like I said, I'm looking forward to it, the 2022. Of course, we're always working on stuff. I may need to talk to Adam about this Gumroad thing and Sweet Fights and see how viable of an option it is, because I'm looking into doing the relaunch myself, and so maybe the best way to go down that path. Something if there's no frills. Because I know sometimes you have to deal with the madness of server space, how much the uploads size wise can be, because with a lot of spots, the length doesn't necessarily is an issue. It's just that how big the file is going to be. So especially if you want to be the type of producer that has multiple, was the 4Ks, the 1080s, the 720, the mobiles. So you got different ones. So just trying to figure all of that out is going to be somewhat problematic. And so now bringing Clem back in, and
Sorry about
so
that, people. I had to, you know how it is. When your mama's a call, you gotta answer the dang phone. You know how this goes, even on
yeah,
radio. But anyways, what would you say? Go ahead and finish what you're saying. I was just here listening for a minute.
yeah, I was,
I
just
say anything.
waxing poetic. Talking about I may need to call Adam and Sweet Fights, and then talk to him about this Gumroad thing, because I
Yep, yep. You
may
need to.
be looking because of the website that what we have, and I need to do more with it.
Yeah,
Um,
you need to do it because even Rodolfo himself is on here. Rodolfo Angelis, even
yeah,
him, Mexican Cafe, he's
shoot,
on
we
there too.
probably gonna have our own community just in Gumroad alone.
Sounds
I
good to
was
me.
mentioning, how thankfully for all the
Go ahead.
interviewees we had this year. Like Peyton and Reagan and Tilly, and if you really look at the list,
What was it?
um,
Oh,
yeah. So
I'll call him in a minute. I'm in the middle of something right now. I'll call
yeah,
him.
so
Not now.
if you really look at the list, like when we looked at the top eight, I was mentioning to the group. I said how many people that has not been on the show yet. So Brooke has not been on the show. Laura Cross, Lyric has been on the show. Um, Alexa has not been on the show. Sexy Wife, yeah, she hadn't been on. Reagan has been on a couple times. Gia Love has been on a couple times. Shakara has not been on the show. Santana has not been on the show either. Kim Shi either. So we and Sherry. So we got a couple of people that hadn't been on the show yet that maybe for 2022 we can look to add them on. So
God dang people.
yeah, so yeah,
I'll throw him in.
if your mom is anything like my mom is like
Yeah, my mama, your mama. Yeah, mine's
yeah,
is
she
more.
was
Mine's is. Oh,
I was like, mom,
I'm in
okay.
the middle of something. I
Yes.
already called
So,
you. I'll talk to you later. So yeah,
yeah.
who do we need? So I want to see. Yeah, for me personally, Sherry definitely want to see Sherry. Definitely want to interview Sarah. But we all know how Sarah Brooke is. She's one of those people. She got to dictate questions. You can't just ask specific questions. But you know what? Let's do it, right? Let's see if we can get her on the show. Who else you said you want to get on the show?
No, no, no. I was just listing just who from the 8 from our list
Yeah.
that
I'm
had
saying the
not
same
been on
thing.
the show, who had
Yeah,
not
that's
been
what I'm
on the
talking
show.
about.
Because let's be honest, some of these folks had not been on the show because they wasn't nowhere on the list, whereas others, like a Gia Love or whatever, who was on our original list, have been on the show. And,
Correct.
and so now, because the thing is, I was telling the audience, I said I was a little afraid that we was going to run out of people to interview. But now
Correct.
looking at this list, I was like, wait a minute, we got like 2/3 of the list that never been on the show. Like Santana was nowhere on the radar. You got you got Laura Cross was nowhere near on the radar. You got different ones that had not even been on the radar. And so it was like, oh, okay, I was like, all right,
True.
how and then some folks like Janai and Peyton, we was able to get and different ones. I was talking about how Hans, came through this year.
Yep.
Different ones. I wrote down a list of I know you always, and I normally poo it.
Uh huh.
We talked about fights we want to see in 2022, and I'm like, any of them that get made.
Tell her to call me later. I'm doing something right now.
Well, she says she's gonna text you.
Yes,
Okay,
so
that's fine.
Just tell her you're on a
yeah,
live
so
Mhm.
that has
yeah,
3,000
so the
followers.
thing is,
Mhm.
I
She
wrote down a
famous.
list of
Tell your
5
famous people to
fights that
come
I would like
on.
to see for
I will.
2022. So that's what I wrote right now.
What you write
Um,
down?
I wrote down the list of 5 fights I would like to see for 2022.
I
I
know which
wouldn't
ones I want to
be.
see.
I always say, look, I just want any of them to pull off. But I was trying to
Minor,
kill time, so we need to.
as you
So I
said,
want to
minor
see how many
miracles.
of your list. I've already shared with the crowd my list, so I want to see how many of your lists match up.
Maybe some of my lists will not match up. I know one thing. I want a Sarah Bro versus Laura Cross rematch. That's one thing I want to happen
That's
next
on the
year.
list.
Definitely want to. I definitely want to. I know. I don't know. This might not happen, but because one of them was going to retire eventually. But I want to see a Lyric Lay versus Sexy White fight. That's the one I want to see, but that might not happen
Mhm.
because because one's talking about retirement, the other one we don't even know of.
Okay.
Valor definitely want Valor back. Definitely want Valor versus GL Love. I want to see a rematch of that one. Right? Let's see what becomes. That's not on your
Okay.
list. I know that.
That is not on my list. No,
So yeah, I'm just saying. I'm throwing that out there because I
that's
want to see
3.
what happened. Let's see. Definitely wanted to see Alexa Brooke fight someone. I don't know. I don't know about Paris, but definitely want that rematch between Alexa Brooke versus Paris Love. See what the heck happens becomes that.
That is on my list.
That's
So
four.
leaves you with one more. You matched 2 so far.
I'm trying to think who is going to be of interest. That's going to be great. I'm trying to think who else is in the top something because like you said, boy, it gets tough, right? It gets tough now because
Mm.
I can think of. There's not very many good quality cat fights. I'm trying to think.
Which I got 3 of them that you ain't even said yet. So
I know. I know. I'm trying to think in my head.
one of them you did should have popped in your mind. I would have thought would have been the first one you said.
Oh, Are you talking about Davino? Are you talking about Lil Rampage?
Nope, it wasn't either one of them two.
Are you thinking about a Shakira match or a Sherry? Shakira
What,
versus Sherry would be a good one.
you know what? That's actually not a bad that. I
Sh-
think that style will work. I think with
Sherry
both
Stubbs
of
versus
them,
Shakira. They're both wrestlers,
I think that will work.
right? They're both wrestlers. They
That
both
would
do
be a
session
good one.
wrestling. So
That
so that'll be the other one for me. Sherry versus Shakira. Put those two. They're both in
that
Florida too.
one that's actually a good.
Okay, no, they're not in Florida. I'm sorry. One's in Florida. One's in Baltimore.
Okay, I'm about to say since
Sorry,
when
I'm sorry.
Shakira been from Florida,
I know.
she might have
Well,
visited
yeah,
Florida.
yeah.
She
Sherry,
ain't from Florida.
Shakira's not from Florida, but I know Sherry is in Florida. I know that much.
Okay, that's a good one. I didn't think of. So I have wrote down. I would like to see Laura and Sarah Brooke again,
Yep.
but I with the caveat, I do not want to see them in a cat fight because I believe from a cat fight standpoint, we would get similar to what we got last time, which is a stalemate.
Which one?
They are too they are too skilled at cat fighting, both of them.
Agree.
They are
Agree.
too skilled at cat fighting for me to have what one is going to be. It's not going to be like Little Rampage and Sexy Wife. Well, Sexy
Yep.
Wife was more of a cat fighter. Little Rampage can cat fight, but she's not as prominent of a cat fighter. So this
Correct.
was going to, so it gave some breathing, some room for it to grow. Whereas these two girls are already maxed out, and I don't think you're going to get anything different than what we saw. I purely just from a straight up skill level.
Right.
I would want the choke holds. I would want the arm bars. I want all of. I just want straight up skill, and that's why I'm saying I don't think it would need to be a sweet fight. It would need to be something else. The way I just want to see skill for skill. Who is truly the more skilled woman in her arsenal? Because
I
from a
have an
cockfighting
idea.
standpoint, they both got the same thing.
I have an
That's not
idea.
gonna work.
So when it comes to cat fighting, so we're gonna have to throw out sweet fights. We're gonna have to throw out Tilly Town. I can only think of one person when it comes to skills. Lady Oyaka. Just throwing it out there. Think about that for a minute. I wonder if she's gonna. I wonder if she would do it. Right? I wonder if she will do it. Because we're talking, like you said, we're talking about skill for skills. It be interesting. I can only think of one person that would do it. Because like you said, if this was like you said, they're both very good at catfighting. So there's no right, like you said, they know how to catfight. You said it.
Right.
So these two are
Right.
skillful. The only person I can think of is Lady Oyanka. I can't think of anybody else when it comes to skills. But I
If they want to
just throwing
keep
that
it
out.
neutral, let Carrie do it.
Gary Spectrum.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Hey, that's not a bad
Um,
idea. That's not a bad idea at
so
all.
so Laura and Sarah, that would be skill. I had on there Alexa Brooke in Paris because you remember Paris this time, well, roughly around February last year, talking about she wanted to do like
Yep.
8 matches in a year, and Alexa
Yep.
Brooke's like, well then fine. Then at some point, then them two need to collide. I know Paris kind of teetered on from that, but I think that match should be enough galvanized to bring it back. Um, I had on there Janai versus Peyton because we was robbed of that. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that
that's
needs to
right.
happen. We was
Actually,
robbed of that.
we were robbed of Payton versus Janai. We were robbed of that.
We was robbed of that. I want that back. I still want Janai and Reagan because that was the partner. So you gotta have that. And then last but not least, and this is the one I'm starting to say, we get the Alexa Brooke lyric and let them finish it.
Oh, I forgot about this fight. Yeah, you're right. I should have said that.
I'm like, that was I thought would have been the first one out your mouth.
But here's the problem. Well, the problem is, will Lyric be around for that fight to happen? That's the thing. Will she be
Uh,
around for that fight to happen?
I think lyric if lyric is any lyric being the competitor that we know, I actually with both ladies, I can't see it being where it's one of those things that where it's like for the sake of the culture, it needs to happen, but it's a thing of or the sake of for the sake of the fight game. But
Right.
I would not be surprised if either lady be apprehensive
Yeah.
about doing it because it
Yeah.
drew so much out of both of them. It's like,
Yeah.
would I even want to put myself mentally to go through that again
Yep.
with her?
Right.
Like this is how deep it would be. I truly believe Alexa would fight Paris and Lyric would fight Sexy Wife before
Agreed.
those two fight each other again,
Agreed.
just because of how much it pulled. I'm just saying. And
I agree with you.
if it did happen, if Alexa Brooke and Lyric did happen,
Yep.
I truly believe that would be Lyric's last match. Period.
Lyric's last fight. You think Lyric's last fight
I
is going to be
think
against Sexy Wife?
no,
Yep.
no, 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 no. That Alexa Brooke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Because remember what I said, what it took for them to get to get through it.
Mm,
It would be akin to it reminds me of two retirement matches for like one we knew of and one we didn't know what was coming, which
right.
was the Ric Flair Shawn Michaels match.
Right.
And you knew Rick was done. He
Yep.
was gonna lose and he was gonna die. And and it didn't hit me until I watched the A&E documentary about it. The Stone Cold Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Oh.
And how Stone Cold that was it, and Stone Cold was done.
Wow.
His last competitive match was at WrestleMania, and he was done, and he was like, "I'm going off on a high note."
That's true. I remember. Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point by
Because
you.
if the sexy wife never happens,
Which it looks like is more likely not going to happen. I hate to say it.
right? even if it never happens, at least having the one with
Alexa Brooke.
Alexa Brooke would have been like, okay, I know if I'm going out with everything I got left because it's going to take everything I got left to beat her.
I also heard that Lyric wants to fight Sarah Brooke as her last fight too. I was told. So that's what I was told. I'm not with you. I'm not in that boat either. I'd rather her fight Alexa, really, if you want to be serious. Right? I'd rather her fight Alexa Brooke than Sarah Brooke. I don't know if she's gonna be ready for that. I'm not doubting her ability against, not doubting her ability, but Sarah Brooke's another level. No disrespect to Alexa.
Well, I think at some point Father Time is going to catch us all.
And I think he's
And
gonna catch
so
her. Yeah, so I think it's one fight too many. She was to fight against Sarah Brooke. My opinion. One fight too many. My opinion.
the only way I could even justify or I could see what I think that will bring is if in the rematch, if she fought Alexa Brooke and in the rematch she was to dominate Alexa
Yeah,
and
true.
just show that the leg was just or the injury was just like look, like I'm talking about 100% and then it's like look, it was just the leg. Then I could be because you go up against Sarah, you can't be having no that's not gonna be pretty. You know
I
how there's
agree.
some people you could beat at 80%, some people you can beat at 85, 90.
Yep.
Sarah Brooke is not one of them people I think you can beat at 90, even 95%. You need maybe 95% and Sarah's just having a bad day. We all even. Because the way to see how Laura Cross went out there. So on a bad day. But Sarah's been able to answer the bell every time. So
Yep.
yep, but other than that, that's all I got. That's all I got, man.
That's it, pretty much. So basically, we should say to the fans and the viewers, put up put out your top five fighters in your top eight, as you said. Do the great eight. I'm talking about them, not us. Do the great eight. I know this is gonna be controversial, but you know what? We might as well screw it. It's the end of the year, for heaven's sakes.
And with
So do
that,
that, and then give us your top five cat fights you want to see for next year. And people, be realistic and understand fans. Understand that the producers like Klaus Webb and all of them, they got lives. Stop pressuring them
I
for
would
having cat
just want
fights.
them to do just the grade eight. I don't want
Yeah,
them because you're gonna have the one village idiot that's gonna create an account just for this exercise and then start throwing out the craziest of things. He'll
yeah.
say
I'm
like
just I agree.
Mala versus Kim Lee.
Oh yeah. Okay, guys. Oh yeah. Let's to clarify. We're gonna clarify this for you. People and girls in the top eight. Girls in the top eight is what we're looking for. Not people who are retired like Mila or Dominia Camarillia or Vika Model. They're not in the top eight right now. So none of them. Like the man said, top eight people, right? Only correct.
We'll see as the kids say now, who understands the assignment.
I bet you half of these village idiots, as you call them, will not understand the assignment. It's a simple assignment. People,
Now,
do it and get back to us.
because again, our friends from across the pond, I cannot legitly be mad if they start throwing out like some of the girls from Cast Review, which
That's fine.
outside Cast Review will allow.
Yep.
What about I gotta leave. I know IFW has kind of dabbled into it and some of the other ones, but
Yeah.
it's not the same. The only one that's close is Cast Review. And other than the rest, I fighting dolls,
Nope.
fighting divas. It's close, but it's no cigar. It's
Close.
real close.
Close. It's real close. Both of
It's
them.
real close.
Right. Both of them are really close. But like you said, no cigar. But like you said, I'll definitely entertain cast review. No question. Definitely.
We'll add cast reviews, so that's what I say. If you want to add,
Oh, you know what?
some,
Or we could do a list of European cat fighters and go from there.
we've already went through that. We've been through. We did that months ago.
I talk
I'm
about
not.
current. I talk about current, not retired. I talk about people who are current.
No. Again,
We've been through all
that's
that. Yeah.
yeah.
We've been through all
That would
that.
you're right. And then plus, I would like to say, there's been even when I went back to look at some stuff last week. There's a slew of new girls that I don't know. I don't know. So between IFW, Fighting Dolls, Fighting Divas, and then it was like Sexy Fight
Sexy,
Females and Sexy
yeah,
Fight
yeah, that,
Dreams or whatever. I think they're affiliated with
sexy, yeah,
IFW,
yeah,
or a
sexy
lot of the
fighting
girls
dreams.
or
Yeah,
whatever they kind of cross over.
yep,
Just out of just those four alone, there was new girl. Like there's at least a dozen new girls. I don't know enough to say. You know, I just this is where we need our international correspondent, whether it's Blake or anybody else is up there that's willing to step up, that's willing to be our international. You know,
please, please.
that
We don't know.
we would take
Yeah,
suggestions and options and
like
stuff like
like
that
the man
because
said,
it's
we
again
need. Yeah, go ahead. We need someone that's international that knows the catfight game internationally, right? We can only do so much
right because I'm
because of the
sure
time
there
difference.
could be somebody just like how you had Mexican catfights that kind of groundswell came up from the bottom. Now we here kind of thing. I'm
Yeah,
sure there's somebody out there because like I remember when Asian catfight, Manila catfights or Filipino catfights,
yep,
excuse me, was all the rage and how it's
yep,
kind of died back down. But you can't tell me all those folks that was out there, and there ain't somebody out there doing something. Whether it's in them, whether it was the Black Sea Amazons, whether it's
right,
somebody um like and the Asian market or
right,
um it's gotta be somebody else that's out there. We America I don't think has the monopoly on cafe. I would say I like to think that we would. I won't say do it better. I can't say that. I can't say that. I think it just depends on the preference of. The thing I will say this: I truly believe, skill wise, the European girls just have the U.S.
oh
girls
yeah,
beat.
oh European girls
Skill wise,
are way skill wise. It's not even
skill
close.
wise. I guess because if you really look at our list of Laura Cross, our top two, Laura Cross and Sarah Brooks,
Sarah Brooke,
those two again goes back to what I say. If we're just talking about just straight up catfighting, skill wise, I think they can hold their own with anything in the European girls. And the European girls that do catfight, skill wise, I think can hold. But if you really want to see what the better woman is, you almost have to like open up the whole book, and which
yep,
is what they and them doing that over there makes it where it's that much. That's why I say I think Catfights UK is the one group, and there was some other groups back in the day, but I think they're one of the few groups that I think that holds more of the everyday girl that want to show up and throw hands, get paid to throw hands. It's just like, look, I don't have no real training. I just want to pull hair and just throw
yep,
hands. You know,
yep,
it just everyone else is like a fitness model that legitly can go in session and but they're in countries where I don't know if I want to say it's more encouraged or at least it's more out in the open and norm. And I don't know if it's shunned. Well, especially in some of these governments, it's not shunned as much as it is here. You know,
correct, facts.
so yeah,
But
so
then again, some of these governments don't even know. So who knows? I think that's pretty much
yeah,
it for tonight. Really, I don't think we have anything
yeah,
more to
that's it.
say. So
Yeah, before the
basically,
phone started ringing
yeah.
again.
Oh, don't remind me. Once that happens, I'm about to call. I'm about to call these people. Then I'll get with this after what you call it show. What you call it right now? You know what I was trying to say. But anyways, for everybody, I want to thank all the viewers, all the interviewers. Like the man said, everybody that came on the show and interview. And yes, my thing is on. I'll get to it in a minute. From the parts unknown, I'm saying that now because I'm saying that now just as a warm up. I'm not really closing. So my socials is Clem 3000 on IG, Clem on Twitter.
And I am at Close Web on IG and Twitter for now. Still for now.
We want to thank everybody for watching the end of the year show. Today is 12/29. Everybody have a blessed happy new year. Have a healthier happy new year in the year 2022. With that being said, from the parts unknown, my name is Clement Okufo. He's Claus Webb. We are out. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.